Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. Yeah, as you probably know, Solana broke out of this ascending wedge pattern. We talked about that in the previous videos already. The next resistance level was highlighted at around $48. Price nearly reached it and it's now consolidating a little bit. So we see a little bit of a pause there. I think tomorrow the Solana conference finishes. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow the Solana conference finishes. So we might see, I don't know, we might see a little bit of a setback. I don't know. It sometimes happens that we see a peak during these events. However, the trend is set to continue for now, as long as certain support levels are holding, and we're going to talk about them. First of all, I'd like to explain why the price likely stopped there. First of all, we were talking about this red resistance line as next level to watch at basically $48.80. So we've just landed just below that, as you can see here, at $47 basically. And also, that's a Fibonacci extension projection, proportionality relationship that we talked about in the previous video as well. I showed you that between yellow wave 1 and yellow wave 3, typically they at least slow down a little bit around the 1-to-1 ratio, the so-called 100% extension. So if I take the length of this wave 1 and go to the low of the wave 2, then this 1-to-1 ratio, 100% extension, it's certainly a level to watch at around $43.70, always the 1-to-1 ratio. But in an ideal world, this wave 3 should push higher towards $54, $55 next. It's the 1.236 extension, and the yellow wave count is a diagonal structure. So the wave 1 is a correction. The wave 2 is anyway a correction. The wave 3 as well, as far as I can see. And it should reach the 1.236 extension level. It's just part of a larger diagonal pattern, as far as I can see. But that's certainly anyway the next fib level, and above that I've got $77, and then we take it from there. We can also add the 1.786, but they are just the next projections. I mean, what it would need to do basically as minimum, you shouldn't say minimum because it implies that the market has to do something, which certainly isn't the case, but to get an ideal structure, the minimum you would expect is the 1.236 extension in wave 3. So that's why it should ideally continue to fill in this pattern. Then we should get a wave 4 pullback, and then it should still push higher in wave 5, possibly to $77, $90. That depends a little bit on how high the wave 3 goes. So far, no of these support levels that I gave you broke, so the trend is clearly still up, and it never gave us a reason to confirm a breakdown. So that's what I'm going to do again. I'm going to give you the next set of support levels against which we can focus on higher. We need to understand what are the levels that now need to be maintained so we can remain focused on higher on the current uptrend. There's also, we'll do that in a minute, there's also the white wave count, which has become less likely due to the massive extension here. In the white wave count, we're basically in the white wave 3. In the yellow count, we are in a C wave. In the white wave count, we should eventually push even higher, but I would have liked to see a clearer pullback. Maybe that still happens within wave 3, because wave 3 should form 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it hasn't really completed a very clear wave 1. That's the problem. So because it has pushed so high, we talked in the last few days about the yellow wave count, that it's likely unfolding more directly. Both wave counts are bullish anyway. It's just sort of how the subdivisions play out, okay? So now we need to understand, right, what is the key support level against which we can focus on higher? So anyway, first of all, key level that I typically use is the 50% retracement level. That is now at $31.60. So it's quite far away, but that is normal. That's, you know, obviously quite clear. It's quite far away because of the massive extensions. So naturally, when a price rallies, of course, the distance to the key level is getting extended, and that just increases the risk, okay? And also that 50% FIB level, which is at $31.60, is basically the previous swing low. So that's a key level to watch. That's a key level to watch. And if we see a break below that level, it would indicate that we are heading for a stronger pullback or even a breakdown. So that's the key level. That's sort of the main support level. $35 is key as well as a level in case of a pullback for a potential bounce. So if I'm talking about this wave 4 pullback, yeah, ideally we don't want it to break below $31.60. That's sort of how this needs to be understood. But as we stretch higher, and we can still stretch higher in the third wave, yeah, as we stretch higher in the third wave, which we can do as long as we basically stay above support, but I will give you a nano support as well, so an even tighter support level. As we go higher, we have to adjust this larger support area, which would be for the wave 4 pullback, okay? What else do I want to say? So we've got that, yeah. So let me add something here. So this would be basically at the moment the key level to watch. Now you can say that if anybody's trading this really short term, I mean, from this swing low, we can also measure the 50% retracement level. And that would be, if that then breaks, I would say, okay, wave 3 is likely over. But it will be a very early signal, so it depends on many factors. It's a bit more complicated than that. We would need to look at the structure when it happens and stuff. But a sustained break below $38.40 would already tell me that the third wave might have finished, okay? But for now, and as long as that level is holding, we focus on higher. Next resistance level is $49. And yeah, so Solana is looking good, and trend is up, and the support levels are holding. The key targets are clear as well, hopefully. So yeah, that's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.